Before we create this sign-up API and login API, we need to understand about one specific concept before we move on. The concept that we are going to learn is JSON Web Token. JSON Web Token is a standardized, optionally encrypted container format that is used to securely transfer information between two parties. In our case, it is server and client. Let's walk through a full example of how JSON Web Token works. First, a user calls Cersei login by entering her necessary information like username and password. And then we get the information, we pass it to our database, and our database will check if the user exists or not. If it does exist, then return the user's object. And then we have to encrypt this user's object, which will become these random characters. JSON Web Token is the one that encrypts the user's object to these random characters. Once encrypted, we will respond back to the client, which in our case is the browser. So we have to respond the token back to the browser so that the browser will store it in either local storage or cookies for easy access later on. So the browser can later grab the token from local storage or cookies to use later on. Let's say we want to call an Axios on one of the APIs that has the verified JWT token middleware like API profile. We just attach the Axios call with the token that is from the local storage or cookies and attach it to the header of our Axios call. This is the example. We get the token from the browser's local storage or cookies, and then we pass it in our Axios call. And then it will hit the server API. The server API will check the request.header, which will have our token, and pass it to our middleware, and our middleware, which is the JWT verified token, will check to verify whether the token is valid or not. If it is valid, it will decrypt or decode back the token to its original state, which is the user's object. The full example for the code is this one. So as you can see, it is routed at GET API profile, and it has a middleware called JWT middleware, which will verify the token. Once it verifies, it will return a request.decoded object, which is the original user's object. And then we can access the ID and pass it in our database, which is user.find1. And then of course we can respond back the user to the client. So in a nutshell, that is how JSON Web Token works. Once we actually implement it, you will learn and understand more about JSON Web Token and why are we using it. So I'll see you guys in the next video.